everybody, welcome to the Pallet Shed. So I kind of got a groove metal industrial, I'm not sure, but it's a fun jam. So come on in, we'll jam. I'll tell you, well, you'll hear me jam, then I'll tell you sort of break down the song, and then I'll have a jam track at the end that you can jam along to with it. All right, let's head on in here. Let me flip this thing around. Okay, head on into the Pallet Shed. Boy, it's hot today too. Let's go. I got the AC going in here. Okay, it just cut off just in time. All right, let me get situated. Okay, so welcome to the shed. I'm situated. So what we're gonna do today, I'm gonna play you, do a jam for you. Then we're gonna go through, I'll show you what I played on bass, show you the rhythm I played on guitar, then kind of tell you what scale I used, and then we'll have a backing track of it play at the end for you to jam along and have some fun. Okay, so here's the jam coming up. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the jam. It's a little crazy, but I just kind of improv'd and had fun with it. Went a little wild. So at this point, if you're enjoying the video, we'd love to have you subscribe and like the video. It'd mean a whole lot to us, and comment if you got any thoughts on things or just anything, any feedback. So let's go through and do the bass line. So for the slow riff that starts out with, this is what it does. So I'm in drop D, so it's kind of two parts. So the first part of the riff, and it's a chromatic walk down. So it'll go open D, 3rd fret of A string, with a pull off to the open A. D again, 2nd fret of the A string with a pull off. D again, then 1st string of the A and open A. So it'll sound like this. Let me do it again. Okay. Then the second part is basically the same except for the very end, and it goes, well, I won't repeat it, but it's, that's all the same as the first part of the riff, but instead of the 1st fret of the A to open A, it's just going to hit the 1st fret twice. So it'll be, that's it. So the whole riff sounds like this. Okay. Then when it makes the transition to the faster part, it does one thing a little tricky. Well, it's not really tricky, but it kind of comes at you kind of fast. So the first part of the riff is the same, but it doesn't go into the second part of the riff. It just goes open D and 1st fret 3 times. Yeah. So the whole thing will sound like, and then it'll go into the next riff, which is a little more up-tempo, but it's basically the same thing. So it'll go open D twice, then 3rd fret of A string once, open D once, 3rd fret of the A string again for a second time, and then open D twice. So far that sounds like, well, that last note wasn't right. And then it'll go twice on the 1st fret of the A, twice on the open A. So the whole little part of the first part of the fast riff sounds like this. Okay, then it'll repeat, and the second time around the only difference again is it'll hit the 1st fret of the A string at the end 4 times. So that'll sound like, so the whole riff sounds like this. Static in there. So yeah, that's the bass part, and then when the fast part goes back to the slow part, it just goes straight into it. So it'd be like, follows that. Sorry, I'm getting some static. I need to spray some contact spray in there. Okay, so that's the bass part. Alright. Now let's do the guitar. So the guitar pretty much follows the bass line. So the guitar I've got in standard D, and that just was the key I was in when I kind of played this. But you could do it in D, drop D, probably a little easier, because in standard D, ooh, I got a pick jammed in there. I pretty much have to hold the 2nd fret to instead of just being open, everything shifts. So it'd be like. Wait, that should have only been twice on the 3rd fret, so. Times. I think that's it. Okay, so and then on the guitar I soloed in D minor in the pentatonic. The only thing I did out of the ordinary, so on the 1st position pentatonic, the actual chromatic walk down here up higher in a higher octave is so in the very beginning I would do a bend on the first one, so I was doing that walking down. So here's one finger to show. Wait. Okay, so that's that part. Alright, so then, in a few minutes you're gonna have a backing track that is just gonna be the guitar, bass, and drums, and you can jam along with it. And then later this week, in a couple days, we'll release 2 videos. One will be the same backing track you're about to hear, but it will be looped 2 or 3 times, and I'll have the tab on the screen, even if I gotta write it by hand, which is fairly likely till I figure out the computer part. And the other one will be just drum and bass only, and the same thing will be on the screen, the tab. Then lost my train of thought. Okay, yeah, and real quick I'll go over the pedal setup on the guitar. So I was using primarily I'm always disclaimer, I'm constantly changing my guitar pedal board. It's just fun for me. So tune in every week, it's going to be something different. But this week it was this DOD Fuzz. I cannot pronounce his name. Chthonic, but it's a nice fuzz. It's sort of, I guess, similar to a Big Muff. Just Big Muff, it's just smoother, less scooped, and less bass heavy. Not that it's not bass heavy. It just flows well, and it's really good as far as when you roll off the volumes. It cleans up nicely and gives a really nice lead tone. And so, I'll play it for you. and I've got it in the neck position. And then, so you can also see I've got this DemonFx G-string, they call it Filtration 2. It's based on the G-string Decimator from ISP Technologies, but this thing only costs $50 and it works just great. And then the Jan Ray overdrive, I put in the effects loop and I basically use it as an EQ. It just smooths out the sound because I've got the gain all the way down so it gets a clean sound. Here's the sound. That's without it. This is with it. So you can barely tell a difference, but on a lead, bump and it cuts through nicely. Alright, and then if you want to check out the video on the one-man rig, which is going to be I think on this side above me, but basically you can see I've got the looper, the Beat Buddy 2, the American Yo-Yo pedal is the one channel of the drums because I've got it stereo coming out. It's going through that because it gives it this nice realism, you know, it makes the drums sound more aggressive. And then I mix it clean with that dirty sound. And the little Vailton GP5 is what I'm running the bass through because it does those NAM captures that you can get off Tone 3000. And it's only like $69. I think it's the cheapest pedal you can get that can do that. And its output is a stereo out, so you can use a little headphone amp. And you play with those captures all day long. So I think it's got a Ampeg Heritage or something like that. But it sounds good. And then I'm running into the mixer, which is the Zoom LiveTrak, and it has a built-in recorder. And the guitar is going, you know, the preamp is this Friedman IRX. It's going into the return of a Marshall Dsl40cr, so that power amp. And then I've got another Marshall amp, but just speaker only. So I've got a Eminence Swamp Thang in the Marshall Dsl40cr. And the extension cabinet has a Mesa Boogie Black Shadow 90. Both are mic'd with Pyle. One's a clone of an SM57, one's a clone of the SM58. And so then the guitar comes into the mixer, I record it there, then it goes to the computer, and no DAW at all. So I think I've got that covered. Okay, I feel like I'm forgetting something, but of course I've got no notes. So I'm sure I'm forgetting something. But so right now, we'll go ahead and do the backing track. And then I'll come back and just say goodbye for this video. Alright, so let's get into the backing track.